Biafra, superstars, media.
A human being being sliced into two. Can you imagine such a thing? Biafra is going to emerge as a nation. You know, despite the support of Britain, Russia, Egypt, and some other friends of Nigeria, we all will surely come out as a nation because we are fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
Fellow Biafrans, my name is Biafra Superstars Media. Today, I present to you a man I love, a man I appreciate, and a man who is here to dispel those stupid laws or lies that they are saying about our Prime Minister. They claimed he has accepted a deal with the politicians to release Nnamdi Kanu. The naysayers in that zoo, the new mantra now is that our leader, MAZI, Ekpa, Simon and Joko, has agreed on the negotiation table to accept a deal to release Nnamdi Kanu. I want to say that's a lie from the bottom of hell, and there is no way our Prime Minister will be sitting on a round table discussion, be it on Zoom, be it virtually or whatever. There is no way our leader will be discussing with a man like UZODINMA, a man like ORJI or KALU, and a man like Obasanjo. Obasanjo, when I listened to the voice of that lady at the beginning of the video, where he said, imagine a human being being sliced into two. What kind of nonsense is that? Imagine a human being being sliced into two. Obasanjo, I hold you and your comrades responsible for what happened in the land of Biafra during the Biafran War. What you call the war, something we see as a genocide. What you and your men did in the land of Biafra shall never be forgotten or forgiven. And to hear that somebody like you, of all people, your name was mentioned as one of those discussing with our Prime Minister, we know that's a lie from the bottom of hell. And today, a very good friend is here to dispel that notion. Without any much further ado, my people, I present to you the Biafran golden child. This was a child, a man who was a child during the time of the Biafran War, a man who had kwashoko during the time of the Biafran War, a man who saw his sister and his mother kick the bucket after one another during the Biafran War, and a man who saw the indecency of the Nigerian zoo military, that at the time when Red Cross are giving them food, the Gariga bun and soup to eat to get some protein, the Nigerian military, not in one occasion or two occasions, will stop these children where they have killed by the side of the Red Cross to get their Gariga bun and soup. They will stop these children, take the soup off them, drink the soup within their presence, in their presence, and give them an empty plate of gari to take into the bushes because they had the assumption that those children were taking those food into the bushes to feed their fleeing parents. Because you and I know that if the parents come out to eat food or to beg or seek for food, they will meet their Waterloo. So in most cases, when the Red Cross are around, there is a level of security, so they send their children to go get those foods. But the evil and heartless Nigerian military will stoop so low to take off the soup that has the protein. Now you understand how we got the kwashoko in the first place. They will take the soup of those children, drink it, and give them the empty plate to take into the bushes. In most cases, their parents will only chew gari without soup. That's the manner of evil that the Nigerian military, under the supervision of somebody like Obasanjo, did to us during the Biafran War. When I heard all the stories from our brother, I was in tears. When our brother, the Biafran golden child, narrated to me his ordeal, what he went through as a child during the Biafran War, I felt sad. I was taken aback. And I vowed to him, I made him a promise that I will share my platform with him to share his story to the world. The world must hear this. Biafrans must hear this. Those that say they believe in one Nigeria, they must hear this, because during the time of the war, their children, their family did not have access to the news. The Nigerian media, they refused to show this news to their so-called Nigerians in the other regions. They didn't show the news of children suffering from kwashoko. They didn't show the carnage, the pillage, the genocide happening in the land of Biafra. They kept it quiet. Not even Britain showed their people until the Irish came. Until they came, they said enough is enough. They asked for all the children that people could find with kwashoko to be gathered around. They took pictures, they made videos, and they sent it all across the whole world, including Britain. When the British people saw for the first time the impact of the foreign policies of their government, when they saw what their government was doing in Africa in order to exploit the resources of Africa and bring to them to enjoy in Britain, they felt ashamed of their politicians. They felt ashamed of their government. And for the first time, the people, the media, and the press in Britain, they yelled, they requested their government to pull away from the land of Biafra and end the war. They saw it as a genocide. Lord have mercy. I'll hold back the tears. Fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, people listening from all over the world, I present to you the Biafran golden child, the real Biafran golden child. Thank you.
Good evening, all. Good afternoon. Good morning. Once again, depending on where you're hearing my voice from. This is the Biafra Golden Child, and once again, really, glad to address us through the Biafra Superstar Media. Yes, there's a very, what I might call a sudden on progressive and very unpalatable news that have gone viral since today. Yes, my attention was drawn, to some viral messages going around that our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, has, uh, considered this sudden clamor by former head of state, Obasanjo, Olusegun Obasanjo, Senator ORJI, um, Hope UZODINMA, and co, who suddenly have started clamoring for the release of you know, uh, our dear leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, the Simon Ekpa was like, this thing going on could be a subterfuge. It could be, something that has a very, untoward meaning. Yes, Simon Ekpa, our Prime Minister, was very vocal to suggest that this recent clamoring, this recent, sudden interest in the release of Nnamdi Kanu may be a ploy to get him into trouble, himself, Simon Ekpa, into trouble. Maybe a plan for them, you know, to create problems for him. I mean, several times they have sent bombers to his house, and this could be something that could generate a fifth attempt at bombing him or finding a way to eliminate him. And my interest was drawn to it because, like I told you, a lot of people have known that I talk Biafra, I drink Biafra, I eat Biafra, and I speak Biafra. So a lot of people have known that I breathe Biafra also. And so they called my attention. They said, what do you feel about it? I mean, here's your so-called prime minister is saying the clamor for the release of Nnamdi Kanu is a ploy, to put him in danger and endanger him, that he does not trust their instincts and their, intentions. And so, what do I think? You that talk Biafra all the time, what do you think? We need to hear what you have to say about this. I mean, how come people, including the former head of state, a personality like Olusegun Obasanjo, and all that, who are interested in getting this man out, pleading to the government, play bargaining, and all, all what? Why is your prime minister developing a cold attitude towards it? Why does he suspect their motives? And so I told them, and that's what I want to say here, because for the avoidance of doubt, for those of us who believe Biafra is our heritage, for those of us who believe Biafra must come, for those of us who believe that this is our promised land, for those of us who believe that the people of Igbo land, the eastern region, have suffered so much in this so-called federation called Nigeria, for those of us who remember our history, who knows that between 1966 and 1970, that the Igbo race was subjected to a pogrom. There was a deliberate attempt to humiliate them, to kill them, and to completely exterminate them from the earth, or if possible, from the whole of Nigeria. And so when we begin to realize and think about these things, we equally begin to look at certain options or certain developments with a pinch of salt. Yes. So proper, I want to say without any, I want to say without any equivocation. I don't want to seem like I'm double speaking. I want to call a spade a spade. Let me say here right now, yes, that I don't believe Chief Olusegun Obasanjo has a good intention or has good intentions for suddenly, spearheading the release of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu. I don't believe Senator ORJI has altruistic reasons for, his interest in, soliciting for the release of our dear leader, Nnamdi Kanu. I don't think the rest of them, the Southern Governors Conference or the Southern Governors Forum, have good intentions, including Hope Uzodinma and co. Yes, why do I say so? In the first instance, we need to know the history of Olusegun Obasanjo. Yes, Obasanjo has played a major role in issues concerning Biafra and Igbo land. In case you don't know, for those of you who don't know, Obasanjo was one of those who, under the head of state, then General Yakubu Gowon, who created massive onslaught, who slaughtered so many in Biafra, who killed so many in Biafra, who spearheaded the killing of, our brothers and sisters, especially our old ones, especially our innocent ones, especially our babies. Obasanjo was a very powerful influence during Gowon's, civil war against Biafra. Obasanjo is, so to speak, a great enemy of Igbo land, if we consider what he did to us. Yes, even though in recent times, people have continued, to try to metal down the effects of what he did to us. He and his mentor, General Muritala Mohammed, who was eventually assassinated as a head of state, they caused terrible hardship, terrible killings. They completely, almost annihilated the Biafran people when the civil war was going on. Yes, Moritala did his own. In fact, Moritala was one of those who spearheaded the Asaba killings, apart from, the destruction of the Onitsha going forward to Owerri and all and so on and so forth. Yeah, even though I know an Igbo musician who sang a lot of things, a lot of tributes, so to speak, when Moritala died. I mean, when he was assassinated by the Buka Suka Dimpa coup, in 1976, when he was going to the mosque. Our brothers, the Oriental brothers, eventually sang a tribute to him, where they were saying that, why did Dimka do this? Why did you kill a man who created the Imo State? Why did you kill a man who created Anambra State? Why did you kill a man who created Enugu State while he was head of state? That Dimka did not do well at all. Yeah, but that is for music. That is for music and strictly for entertainment. Well, let me tell us here. Let me give you a breaking news. Moritala was not a friend of Biafra. Moritala was not a friend of the Igbo because he, during the Civil War and co, created so much havoc. They killed a lot of our brothers. They maimed a lot of our parents. They destroyed our women. They killed our population. Over 5 million Biafrans were killed between 67 to 70. Moritala, Obasanjo, and co were senior, officers, people who created the downfall of Biafra. They fought us to stand still. And so when that music was singing, uh, Dimpa, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Even as a young man then, as a young growing person, I felt these people didn't know our history. If they didn't know our history, if they didn't know what we were doing, they would not be singing praises of, Moritala Mohammed. And so Obasanjo in recent times, people have equally come to tell us that his father was from Onitsha. He has not come publicly to declare this. He has not come publicly to deny this. But a lot of people have said this is true. Even I know a lot of Biafran professionals, my colleagues, who call me and say, listen, General Olusegun Obasanjo is your brother. He's from the south. But even at the Civil War, as a fearless Nigerian army officer, he did his job. He executed his job to keep Nigeria as one. He didn't consider that his father was evil, you know. And so I begin to wonder, a man who has neither declared that he's an Igbo man, he had Igbo parentage, a man who has neither denied that he was Igbo parentage. I mean, at this age, Obasanjo has passed his prime. When you are over 70 years, when you are heading 80 or even close to that, or even above that, you should be able to tell the youth the truth. You should be able to tell the generations the truth. You should be able to come clean and say, yes, my father was actually from our nature, and I regret what I did during the Civil War. Because, take it or leave it, you kill people. You were inspired of several government initiatives under later General Gowon. You headed some platoons. You commanded, squadron leaders. During the war, you were one of those who devastated the Igbo land more. In fact, it brings me to the story of Julius Caesar, when despite all the conspirators conspired against him, even when they stabbed him, he didn't feel any stab. But when his friend, a man he trusted, his own bone of bone, flesh of flesh, then his Brutus, stabbed him, Caesar looked up and looked at Dennis and said, Et tu, Brute, even you, my dear friend Brutus, how could you do this to me? So you're among the conspirators. How dare you? And Caesar fell and died because he had been betrayed by one he loved, his own, his bone of bone, his trusted friend. So that is the case of Biafra and Obasanjo. I don't care what Obasanjo says today. I don't care whether he leads all delegation, to Nnamdi Kanu. I don't care whether he goes to Buhari to beg. I don't care whether he goes to Southern Governors Forum, to tell them this is about time that Nnamdi Kanu comes out. Let us play bargain. Let us make it political. I don't care what he says. The truth of the matter is, when the Igbos needed their own, when the Igbos needed every help, every assurances that they have a man and a brother in Obasanjo, he turned the other way. He gave them a resounding battle. He gave them slaps here and there, and he shot us and wounded us brutally when we needed him most. Excuse me. So unfortunately, President Olusegun Obasanjo, former president, does not impress me. And so because of him and the likes of ORJI is from ORJI State, from Abia State, from Igbere. ORJI was one of those southern eastern personalities who felt that the massive rise and recognition of Nnamdi Kanu was a threat to their own, uh, uh, general acceptance. They felt the man was a threat to whatever they do in the East, because these are people who, as governors, had embezzled so much money. They have turned governance to lucrative money ventures. They have siphoned the monies meant for their states into private concerns. They have looted and raped their states from much needed government revenue, from much needed federal revenue. No dividends of democracy came in. And so when they saw that this young man, Nnamdi Kanu, was on the rise and uprise, they were threatened. They knew a new dawn has come, and they did everything to nip it in the bud. Yes, they did. They wanted to destroy him. They were parties even to his arrest eventually. They were parties even to his exposure. And so when it comes all of a sudden to say he's spearheading the release of Nnamdi Kanu himself, the Southern Governors Forum, Obasanjo was there, especially because they came to condole with the family of late Obonayono, and they started talking about Biafra. They started talking of Nnamdi Kanu. Brothers, sisters, I suspect that's a foul play. Our able Prime Minister has said it. There's more to this than meets the eye. All of a sudden, enemies have gathered. The vultures have gathered, so to speak, quote and unquote, looking for who to devour. They have gathered. Nnamdi Kanu has become a subject of their interest ever since the 19th May. Court June 19th June court appearance. There has been a lot of speculations. There's been a lot of intrigues. There's been a lot of manipulations. There's a lot of jojo. There's a lot of journalistic acrobatics, all centered on Nnamdi Kanu. If they're not saying he's begging the federal government to release him, if they're not saying he's telling them, please, I don't want to be here anymore. Let me go. I'll forget Biafra. I'll forget talking about my people. I'll forget issues of Eastern region. If they don't say that, they will come again and say, look, his lawyers are begging. But I'm happy to reveal to all of us here, there's no account either from the video of his court appearance or otherwise where our man, our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, was begging anybody. He has stood his ground, resolute, that we should call a spade and not an agricultural instrument. He has said, listen, my people have suffered enough. We think it's about time we move. Grant us our freedom. Give it to us. Willy-nilly, whether you like it or not, it's time for Biafra to come out and be a republic. My people have suffered. We have suffered so much, beginning from 1966 when we were hounded from the north, killed like ordinary like pigs and cattle. Our people were killed, maimed, destroyed. Our women were raped, massively raped, gang raped, and abducted to become concubines, to become prostitutes, to become cheergivers. Unfortunately, he said, no, we cannot continue to play second fiddle. Yes, Gowon said after the war, 1970, no victor, no vanquished. But we have seen he didn't mean it. They are still acting like the Igbo land was vanquished. They were still acting like the Igbo man, should be thankful that he was not completely eliminated. You should be grateful to Nigeria that you are still alive. You should be thankful because they gave you a second chance. The 3 hours of Gowon did not work. Rehabilitation, reconstruction, it never worked. They have not rehabilitated any person. They have not reconstructed Igbo land. None of them have done anything. All we see is ordinary rhetoric. Rhetoric. That's what they say. So unfortunately, the gentleman told us, Nnamdi Kanu told us, my people have to experience freedom. My people have to feel wanted, in a country they belong to. My people have to have a sense of belonging. Nigeria does not give it to us. My people have to enjoy their God-given talents. Nigeria has not given it to us. My people have to aspire to the highest position in the land. My people have not given it to us. And they said, no, I want my people to have these things. Nigeria cannot give it to us. The only person who can give it to us will go back to our region. We'll go back to Biafra. Nnamdi Kanu said this, and a lot of them were trembling because these are Igbos that have stolen from the cookie jar. They have stolen resources meant for their states. They have stolen money meant to develop Igbo land. They have used it for their private concerns. They have stolen it and bought properties all over the world. These are people whose money, monumental money, they have defrauded and stolen from the people, can take 10 generations, even after them. And they are still stealing. They are still governors. They are still ex-governors. They are ministers. Most of them have become senators. One person has occupied several important positions back to back for the past 20 years. And then Nnamdi Kanu said, no, enough is enough. We need to have our Biafra. And so it baffles me when all of a sudden these same characters, these people who have kept Igbo land in perpetual agony, perpetual poverty, these people who have kept Igbo land in perpetual miserableness, these people who have kept us in perpetual confusion, who has underlined and subsided the Igbo land, they are now clamoring to release Nnamdi Kanu. Suddenly Nnamdi Kanu has become their pet project. It has become what everybody is talking about. Even an ex-head of state. The other day, a man in the House of Representatives went to visit Buhari. Yeah, he was talking about Nnamdi Kanu, saying, look, I want us to, let there be a political solution. Please grant this man. What is their interest when they don't support Biafra? What is their interest when they have not reached out to our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, for the way forward? Today, the Southeast Governors Forum has invited Rotimi Amechi. They have brought him. Come, follow us. Follow us. Let's go and talk to Tinubu. Let's go and talk to the president. Olusegun Obasanjo is with us. Let's go and talk to the president. My dear people, I want to assure you that whatever they are saying is a negativity, is a propaganda, it is a deceit. They want to take us back to Babylon. They want to take Biafra back to Armageddon. They want to destroy us. Now, the destruction will not come from outsiders. It is coming from people we regard as our own. Ndi Igbo Umunai have suddenly turned against us because they know 2nd December 2024 is at hand. They know our indefatigable Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, is on ground, is gaining international support. In recent times, not too long ago, 2 American bigwigs, American powerful dignitaries have come to rally around him, that to give him support, and have promised to be with him all the way. Now they are aware that the international world is watching. They are aware that people that Britain confused, international countries that Britain confused during the Nigerian Civil War, that Britain hoodwinked and made them look elsewhere, why Biafra was ravaged, where Biafra was destroyed, where Biafrans were raped and exposed to perpetual perplexity and confusion, where our sisters were raped, massively raped, where our mothers' tummies were ripped open, ripped open. Pregnant women were ripped open just for fun of it, where men were gathered and shot at as if it is a jamboree, as if it's a hunting jamboree. People have now realized, the international community have realized that Biafra has suffered enough. They have seen it. Igbo man can never aspire to the highest post of the land. The Igbo man is chased everywhere he goes, as if he's an unwanted entity. But to God be the glory, we have continued to survive. To God be the glory, we are still at the vanguard of things. Today we are importers of everything reasonable. Today we are captains of industries. Yes, when they did indigenization policy, 1976, when they made sure every foreign corporation was, every Nigerian can afford to invest into it, they gave us 20 pounds. 20 pounds, believing that no Igbo man can afford to survive. 20 pounds, go and die. 20 pounds, go and commit suicide. 20 pounds for a man who had children, who had a mother, grandfather, children. You give him 20 pounds, despite how much he had in the bank. That is the highest level of wickedness. Man's inhumanity to man. That's the highest level of wickedness. They starved our people during the war, blocked every opportunity for welfare to come, blessed every opportunity for Red Cross to be of assistance, blocked every opportunity, either as seaports, either as airline, either via land, to kill our people, to depopulate us. And they caused the highest level of human deprivation. Children had kwashoko. Most of them died. Most of them had gray hair at age 5. Most of them had bellies that outweighed their body and they could not stand. Old men died. The sick had no opportunity to get medicines. They died. Our young and able were crafted into a war and were shot at, a war without guns. And the Nigerian people, led by late Muritala Mohammed and Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, they were killed. Theophilus Danjuma killed our people. Obasanjo killed our people massively. Muritala killed our people massively. And today, the same Obasanjo is championing the release of our national leader. Oh my God, it's an aberration. It's an aberration. Brothers and sisters, fellow Biafrans, I am highly agitated, and I'm sorry if I sound like I'm aggressive. My heart is broken. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, you have spat on the grave of our grandfathers. You have spat on the grave of our mothers that were raped and brutally murdered. You have spat on the children, several millions of children who died of kwashiorkor, malnourished, lack of protein, those who were starved during the war. You have spat on the intelligence of the Igbo man for you to be in forefront of this chariot, this deception, to release our maximum leader, Nnamdi Kanu. I want to call on our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Please do not be deterred. Don't let them discourage you. Don't be discouraged. Don't be demotivated. My brother, stand out. The world is watching. We are right behind you. This is not about the time now to look back. No, move forward. Forward ever, backward never. This is life. You'll be betrayed by some. This is life. Even those who pretend, who hate you will pretend to love you. But Mali sang it. Those who hate you will pretend to love you. But I tell you, my dear brother, internationally, locally, everybody is with you. And I'm begging you, don't be deterred. This is our chance. This is a very opposite moment for Biafra. This is the hope that we have. The Igbo man is suddenly on the threshold of success, threshold of survival, threshold of achievement. Biafra is a reality. We are with you. We are looking forward to 2nd December 2024. And I assure you, we'll all gather. We'll rise together. And in the state of the rising sun, in the country called Biafra, with our full supremacy, our full sovereignty, we shall together sing the Biafra anthem. God bless you all. Thank you.
chiche ba Biafra anozim na Biafra ugbu a Simon Ekpa Njoko Okemo Mondozo gas na sopurugi Okemo Samone Okemo Mondozo gana sopurugi Okemo hey Okemo ejijiri henile Okemo monile Kamwagi, Eminem retire 2014. But Biafra. We are in Biafra. And you know na Biafra. Yes. Ndene gina hana nworu. Ndene no na eme ihe niile kemgbe. Agara m apụtala kemgbe kama ahụ adịghị nne m mụ na nne m anọgide na California ma eburu ya n'ụlọ ya gawa gakwuru okike ya ma lọghachi n'afọ a oke mmadụ enwe m okwu achọkwanụ m kama achọ m ka ị mara na ịbụ Chineke. You are God. You are. Do you understand that? You are God. And the other gods you work with. I don't expect anything in life. I deal with whatever I see as I see it.
Yes.
I didn't think. I didn't put it into perspective, into any type of perspective. Seeing today. Yes. And that I'm seeing today, I'm experiencing today. Osworum, I am content.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, my Prime Minister, there is no name under the earth that fits you. There is no name. Chineke marakwala no wede ho. Njoko, onye pana na aga close to Njoko ya fo kwi bitu ya aka. Njoko.
Thank you. So right, I continue from there and